Sudden disruptions function as a mandatory push. Losing a safe harbor forces us into the open, toward the better prospects that wait beyond our current horizon. In the high mountains, an ancient stone temple stood in silence. At the center of its courtyard hung a massive bronze bell, its surface hidden beneath years of accumulated dust. A small sparrow discovered the cool, hollow space inside the bell. It offered total shelter from the wind and rain, a sanctuary where she could exist entirely undisturbed. She spent weeks weaving a thick, soft nest in the upper curve of the bronze dome. Every twig and feather represented a massive investment of time and focused energy. Inside that dark dome, her world felt secure. She sang every morning and rested every afternoon, operating under the assumption that this quiet environment would last forever. Humans build their own versions of this nest. We anchor our identities to specific jobs, routines, or relationships, mistakenly believing that our hard work creates a permanent shield against change. While the sparrow settled into her routine, the environment outside was already shifting. The mountain air carried a new energy as the temple courtyard began to wake up. The monks gathered beneath the bell. They decided that the years of silence had gone on long enough, and it was time for the bronze to speak again. Tucked away in her dark corner, the sparrow remained blissfully unaware. She continued her morning rest while a heavy wooden beam was positioned just inches from her sanctuary. Disruption arrives exactly when we feel the most untouchable. It strikes precisely when we have grown the most accustomed to the walls around us. The monks released the beam, letting the full weight of the timber strike the side of the ancient bronze. The piece of the courtyard was shattered. The metal vibrated so violently that the sparrow's nest disintegrated instantly, sending twigs and feathers spinning into the open air. The sparrow was thrown into the chaotic sky. She watched from above as the sanctuary she had spent weeks building was reduced to dust in a single, uncontrollable blow. Sudden, involuntary events strip away our foundational structures. They force us out of the environments we thought we controlled and into a reality we aren't prepared to face. Days of aimless wandering followed. The sparrow struggled through heavy rain and bare valleys, her wings growing heavier as she found nowhere safe to land. She flew in a state of deep confusion, wondering what she had done wrong to deserve the loss of her home. This is the standard response to sudden rejection or collapse. We interpret the loss of our nest as a personal failing or a unique punishment from the world. Despite her hunger and exhaustion, a quiet instinct kept her moving. Something internal refused to let her stop until she found a new place to settle. This period of chaotic, confusing wandering serves a purpose. It is the mandatory bridge between the small life we lost and the larger life we haven't found yet. Eventually, the landscape began to change. The sparrow tracked the sound of moving water, following it into a part of the forest she had never explored before. She emerged into a vibrant glade. Sunlight broke through the thick canopy, illuminating a sparkling stream and branches loaded with fruit. She began building again. This time, she chose stronger sticks and anchored the nest to thick, living branches, applying everything she had learned from her journey. Looking around at the wide, bright expanse of the glade, the memory of the dark, dusty bell felt increasingly distant. The freedom of this new environment dwarfed the narrow shelter she once fought to keep. The destinations we discover through forced wandering are often vastly superior to the cramped, inferior places we originally tried to call home. We often inhabit a long plateau of safety where our potential stays dormant. When that line suddenly drops, it signals the end of a stagnant era. Passing through this instability allows for an exponential climb, building strength to reach a higher peak. The bell's strike served as a catalyst. By dismantling her home, the bronze walls released the sparrow from a narrow existence she never would have abandoned on her own. Reframe your current struggle. View the sudden heartbreak or the unexpected job loss as a forced relocation, not a permanent endpoint. Building your next chapter requires leaving the ruins of the last one behind. It requires the courage to keep flying when you have every reason to stop. Life's most devastating disruptions create the space for beautiful things to grow. They are the prerequisites for the larger life you are meant to inhabit.